Hey guys, welcome to this week's AECVC, my weekly view behind my own scenes and how I prepared my mind last week. So 3 topics that I covered in the last week that are worth resharing here. Number 1, cloud manufacturing and what cloud manufacturers in construction tech and building materials learn from Coca-Cola. Number 2, what are the competitive advantages that I like the most in AEC tech and construction tech startups. And number 3, I spoke about 2 different job types in construction companies and the users that you can address as a software company and how that changes what you build. Let's talk about cloud manufacturing and the Coca-Cola analogy that my partner Shu elaborated upon and learned. Here the key message that you can find in the link below, all the details, but the key message was that, hey, actually Coca-Cola is a B2B company and it is an asset-light cloud manufacturer that uses external manufacturers off their balance sheet in order to actually do a lot of the asset heavy and factory bidding and even the logistics to it. And Coca-Cola above sits as the brand as well as the asset light owner of the customer relationships from a brand perspective. And so that's something that successful cloud manufacturers in construction, such as Inframarket, Metalbook in our portfolio, Zwork to a degree also exemplifies that model, have already implemented. And we're not talking about that enough. There's so much to learn. And that whole blueprint has not been invented in the last 4 years. It has just been rethought, reconsidered, and taken as an avatar into construction tech. But the blueprint has been there for everyone to see for the last 60 odd years, pioneered by Coca-Cola. Even McDonald's can be thought of the same way. Even Red Bull can be thought of the same way. So click the link and you get our detailed breakdown of how cloud manufacturing for construction works and why it's not managed marketplace. So that's 1. 2, the competitive advantages for construction tech startups, I broke down in the link below. What are the top 7 ones that I get to see? Working with founders, talking to founders and seeing their journeys across the years. The top 3, I also mentioned in that post. Number 1, I absolutely love when there's a structural cost advantage. When technology distribution allows you to deliver an outcome, a value to your customer 5-10% cheaper than what the current incumbent solution would be like. If you can unlock a structural cost advantage, not just choosing to have less margin, a structural cost advantage, I absolutely dig in when I see it. Number 2, efficient distribution is one that I am very, very fond of when I see it. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I see it too little. But actually, construction is ideal to have your own secret recipe of distribution because a lot of touch points that you can create are human touch points, are offline touch points. The best distributions that I have seen incorporate these, and that's not intuitive when you come from other sectors as a founder, as a VC, where you have learned other distribution tactics. So unfortunately, I get to see those too little. Fortunately, you can build very unique distribution in our core key and idiosyncratic sector. So that's pretty cool. The third one, let me skip that, and overall just go to the link and you see all the 7 in the breakdown that I provided. And then finally, the final point here is the 2 different job roles in construction companies. I'm dumbing it down, I'm oversimplifying, but what I've seen over the years is that there are 2 job roles that you can address with software in construction. One is what I call the focus specialist, and the other is what I call the diffuse specialist. The focus specialist would spend 80% of their time on one workflow and a repetition of the task delivering into that workflow. Construction scheduler would be such an example. An estimator would be such an example. Now, the diffuse specialist works differently. The diffuse specialist, if you look at their time over the work week on a spectrum, typically they would work on multiple workflows, and each workflow would consist of many more granular steps that on a yearly basis, they repeat those workflows and steps multiple times, maybe 2-3 times, but on a weekly basis, they don't. And now the point of this is, what I learned over the years, that the diffuse specialist, you need to address with different types of value, and you cannot count on them actually becoming a master in your very, very specialized software if it only delivers one feature. Whereas the focus specialist, here the challenge is a different thing. Oftentimes the focus specialist would be hyper specialized in an incumbent software. And here the challenge will be to actually bring them over into your software, which oftentimes comes with a very high minimum feature set. So go into the link below and you'll see the further breakdown of these 2 job roles and what it means for you to build software. Thank you guys and see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe under aecvc.com and you can also find me on LinkedIn. See you next time.